Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, welcome to the channel if this is your first chance to see what I do. This is me knee deep in a massive unhauling, and I know I feel like I'm at the end of it, which is great, but I'm doing this in front of you guys partly to will me to do it. So I'm getting rid of loads and loads of books, and this is something I've resisted for a long time, but I've got far too many books. So at the moment there's 7 boxes worth, and I'm hoping I'm going to get to 8 boxes of stuff to ditch. So I've gone through loads and loads of boxes, and this is the 9th video of the Great Unhaul. Let's crack on and see what I can find. So there's this one, Strange Requests and Comic Tales from Record Shops. That's quite cool. I used to work in a record shop for a long time. I'm going to keep that. It's only small and it's quite a good idea. There's the French Revolution, very short introduction. I'm getting rid of these very short introductions. That's going. One on the Crusades. That's going because I'm just getting rid of them. Jodie Taylor's Second Chance. This is the second book in the Chronicles of St. Mary's. I'm keeping these. Okay, Grapes of Wrath by Steinbeck. I am absolutely sure I've got another version, but I don't know if this is a better version. I quite like the design, but I'm going to put this aside, and I'm going to get rid of one of them. The other one I know is on my bedside table, so all of my Steinbecks are right next to my bed. Whoops. Billie Holiday. I want to read this. I haven't read this yet. It's a biography of Billie Holiday. I don't tend to read a lot of biographies, but I do want to read this one, so I'm going to read this. I might get rid of it after that. Oh, this is a book about Portsmouth, and Bemis are actually mentioned in this. That's pretty cool. So we are actually, where are we? We're at the back. Am I going to be able to find this without just wasting time on here? Yeah. Yep. That's cool, isn't it? Just at the top there. So that's quite nice. I'm clearly going to keep this because it's quite nice to be, for the band to be mentioned on an actual published book. So I love that. Protest and Survive. This is a book about the nuclear debate in the 80s, edited by E.P. Thompson. I am going to keep this actually. So I'm trying to get rid of some of the E.P. Thompson stuff because I bought everything that he released when I was doing my dissertation about him. But I do want to keep this because the nuclear debate is very important to me. Bertrand Russell, Roads to Freedom. I'm going to keep this because it's going to be tough getting rid of any of the Bertrand Russell stuff. I like him a lot. Pro-European Reader. I think I'm going to get rid of this, even though my bitterness about the EU debate makes me want to keep this so I can throw facts at people. But I'm going to get rid of it. But it was really interesting studying the EU a few years before the debate happened, a number of years actually before the debate happened. And I really, I got to know exactly what the EU did and how it worked. And I'm absolutely certain most people that voted didn't have a clue how it worked. But there we are. This is a book about Western atheism, a short history. I like this book, and I'm keeping it. Power Without Responsibility. This is a really, really important book, and I remember I got this secondhand for my daughter when she did her journalism degree, but she said she already had access to it, so I kept it, but she already had a way of reading it. But yeah, really, really important book, but I'm going to get rid of it. I'm trying to be brutal. This is another A-level book, End of Empires, European Colonisation. Very important element of our history, something we don't like talking about, but something that is clearly covered in that A-level book. Creative Morality, so that's about how you can be moral and atheist. Oh my God, that's a strange thing to say. I must be piling up a lot of books because they've just fallen over. This is a World Atlas, and I really do want to keep this, but I'm trying to get rid of the reference books. But I do like this. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm trying to be brutal. I'm going to get rid of it. This is all you need to know about the music business. I'm going to take this to work, so I'm not going to ditch it, but I'm not going to keep it in the house because this will be useful for the students if they want to use it. It's something that the examining board recommend for people to use for the academic side of my course, actually. So I'm going to keep that aside and I'll take it to work. Waking Gods by Sylvain Neuvel. I like this series, and I probably would reread them actually, so I'm going to keep it. Harry Harrison edited anthology. I'm keeping that. Yahtzee Croshaw. There's not many, but the ones I've got all of them, but I'm not going to get rid of any Yahtzee Croshaw books. It's not going to happen. So this is a lot of fun. Recommend Jam by Yahtzee Croshaw. Never Let Me Go by Ishiguro. This came up in a discussion recently, and I think I can find this pretty easily in any of the libraries in Portsmouth. So I'm going to get rid of it, knowing I don't really have to keep it. And to be fair, if I panic and I can't find it, and I'm in a group read or something, I know they've got it in the English department at work, so I can borrow it from there. So I'm not going to keep that. The Prestige by Christopher Priest. I'm going to get rid of it. I don't think I can keep it. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to read it. That's what I meant to say. The Tudors, very short introduction. Another very short. I had loads, didn't I? It's got to be said. Have you seen any of the other videos that I've been doing? I've got so many of those. Alex Garland, Coma. I've almost read this about 4 times. And because I haven't yet, it's going. So it's going. Without Feathers and Getting Even. These are 2 Woody Allen books. I've got Side Effects down there. To be fair, I haven't seen lots of duplication. So I'm keeping these 2 anyway. And I'll put them down there for the possible duplications. But I haven't seen a lot of that going on with those books after all. Maybe I've got rid of the duplications already. That's quite possible because I have been unhauling before. But there we go. Right. Clash of Kings. So you may have noticed, I don't know if I've mentioned this yet, but I've got some of the Game of Thrones books. So I'm going to keep this one. I don't know how many I've got. After I've done this, I'll know how many I've got. But I think I've got all of them, or at least the first 5. Is there 5 books? I don't know. This is the script of Swingers. This came with the DVD, and I separated it because I wanted it in my book collection. I love this film. It's such a great film. But I'm going to get rid of it. This was an interesting find. This was a random book I bought in a lefty political bookshop. I can't remember where I found it, what the shop was. It was a... No, can't remember. But it's an interesting shop and an interesting find. And this was about someone who went off grid. And the idea of the book was that he's keeping his son completely blind to what kind of lifestyle they're going, because he basically he raised the boy in a way that he knew nothing about normal society, and he was in this forest and they were foraging, and it was a little bit of it was a funny one because it sort of glorifies the idea of raising your kids up with a massive lie, really. But anyway, I'm going to get rid of it, even though I've kept it as it's such a strange curio. But I'm getting rid of it now. Michael Moorcock, Behold the Man, a really fascinating book where he says some blasphemous things about Jesus, and a time travel book. I don't think it's going to feature in my top 25 time travel books, so I'm going to get rid of it. But an interesting book, definitely worth reading, guys. Here we go. Crystal Zevon's biography of Warren Zevon. So Warren Zevon's one of my heroes, and this is a great book. It's a very honest book, and maybe I'll do a little video about biographies at some point. But I'm keeping this, without a doubt. Keeping that. Okay. Clive Barker, Cabal. I haven't read this yet, so I've got to keep it. I think I ditched Hellbound Heart recently. I think that was one of the recent videos. But Cabal I'm keeping because I haven't read it yet. The Script of Talk Radio. I love that film. If you've seen Talk Radio, it's a really good film. It never gets shown anymore. I don't get it. It's really obscure now. And it was a play first. So, yeah, has anyone seen this? Tell me if you've seen this film, because I think it's great. But I'm going to get rid of the script. Don't need to keep this anymore. Stainless Steel Rat's Revenge. This might be a duplicate. I'm going to try and get rid of the duplicates I've got of the Stainless Steel Rat books. So I'm going to put that down over there in case I find it again. Telepath by Spider Robinson. I ought to keep it because I haven't read it. But I'm not quite massively enamoured with Spider Robinson. So he's got a bit of a reputation. He gets compared a lot to Heinlein, and that's not necessarily a good thing, to be fair. Okay, this is a big old thing that I spent quite a lot of money on when I bought it. And I haven't had it that long, to be fair. How much was it? It was about 20 quid, I think. But I'm not going to read it. I keep picking it up, and I'm not going to read it. I did talk about it, I think, in a video about comedy books, comical books. But I'm not going to read it, so I'm just going to get rid of it. Likewise, this is another one that's going because I'm ditching books, so I don't want to get rid of this. But it's a big, massive hardback, takes up a lot of space in the loft, and it's one of those books. I'm going to talk about this in a wrap-up video I'm going to do. But I wanted to have like an awesome book collection that had every kind of subject and all that sort of stuff. But that's silly. And I haven't got that sort of room. So this is going. So Perspectives on Animal Behaviour. Awesome book. But it's going. Sophocles, the Theban plays. So what are the Theban plays? Oh yeah, Oedipus Colonus and Antigone. I'm going to get rid of them because I think I've got access to these things at work. Don't need to worry about that. I need to clean this because I think that's a bit of dust, a bit dirt. But this is definitely a fantastic find. So this is a Brian Froud book that I bought in Spain. I bought this in Spain. So, what was it in? No, it was in Italy. I bought it in Italy. It's Italian. So yeah, I absolutely love the fact that this is an Italian version of a Brian Froud book. So I'm definitely keeping that. I'm including this in the Unhaul. I saw this up in the loft, and even if I get rid of this, I'll still have 2 other copies of this. So definitely getting rid of that. Thoughtful Guide to Religion. I am well into the idea of religion in a kind of an academic way. I'm interested in looking at ethics and looking at people's ideas of the afterlife and looking at theology in general. So this is a good book, but I'm actually going to get rid of it because I'm trying to be harsh. That's the only reason why I'm getting rid of it. It's a good book, but I'm trying to be harsh. This is about the Ranters. So the Ranters were part of the English Civil War. They don't get talked about a lot. So this is quite a rare book, so I'm going to keep it. Gore Vidal, really good book this is. Perpetual War for Perpetual Peace. It's a really good analysis of how we get stirred up by the thought of war and how it's such a good way of motivating a people and uniting them for negative reasons. It's a very good book. So Gore Vidal, Perpetual War for Perpetual Peace. I'm going to keep it. Major Problems in American History, Volume 2, since 1865. This is something that I've used in my degree. Can't remember why. Can't remember what I used this for, but it's an academic book. But I'm going to get rid of it. It's a lovely floppy paperback, but I'm going to get rid of it. So it's another one gone. Oh. Another Maya Angelou book. Loads of those. Revolution and Rebellion, State and Society in England in the 17th and 18th centuries. This is a good book. It's quite rare. I'm going to keep it. A Choice, Nuclear Weapons versus Security. I'm gonna Who's written it? The contributors. I'm going to get rid of it. John Hegley book, Glad to Wear Glasses. Definitely keeping that. Book about the Cold War. Big old, awesome, very good. This is a very good recommended paperback about the Cold War. But it's going. Oopsie daisy. Le Morte d'Arthur by Mallory. That was bought because of this idea of having a great collection, but I'm going to get rid of it. So ambitions for that is out the window. Another Bukowski book, Storm and Living in the Dead. Desmond Morris, cat watching. Can I ever understand my cat? Probably not. She's a lunatic. A Short History of England by Simon Jenkins. I'm going to get rid of that because I'd rather have more focused history books. Chomsky, Who Rules the World? I'm going to keep that. Can't get rid of Chomsky very easily. This is a book about my favourite painter. I saw this and I thought that can go, but I'm going to keep it. Can't let go of that one. The Amber Spyglass. I'm going to keep this because I want to reread these soon. The Philip Pullman books. This is 3 Star Wars, the trilogy that has been raved about a lot. But I'm actually, I don't know, I think I'm going to get rid of them. So, there you go. They're gone. Ursula K. Le Guin, 4 Ways to Forgiveness, which is really good. Keeping that. I'm going to keep this one, even though I was really disappointed by it, but I want to read it again because I like the other 2 books I've read by him a lot, so I'm going to reread it. Another Jodie Taylor Chronicles of St Mary's book. I like this book, but I'm going to get rid of it because I don't feel an urge to keep it, I guess, but I did like it, so I would recommend this guy, but it's not as good as Meddling Kids. Another Christopher Moore one. I really like this. I think this was the first one I read by him, and I really, really like it. And there's a book that I've just got, which is in a similar vein. Nearly there. Speeches of Cromwell. Definitely keeping this. Again, it's quite an unusual book to discover. Christopher Hill's classic book, God's Englishman. This is like a really, really good book on Cromwell by the expert of the Civil War. Cromwell and communism, a strange subject to tackle because it wasn't even a thing around the time of Cromwell, but I'll keep it because again it's quite unique. I don't think I'm going to keep this anymore. Rough Guide to Thailand, although I think I brought it with me to Thailand, but I'm going to get rid of it. And a Oxford Dictionary to Christian Church. Going to get rid of that because, again, I'm not so fussed about having reference books. The Hobbit. I ain't getting rid of The Hobbit. Right, 4 more books and then that's it. That's the Unhaul done, except for the stuff that I've talked about recently on the channel, or things that are just obvious, like the 2 boxes of Stephen King books and the box of Pratchett books and the box of Harlan Ellison books, that kind of thing, and my cartoonist collection. So, Dance with Dragons. So, again, another George R. R. Martin, Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire book. I think, well, yeah, I've got a few of them. But anyway, I'm keeping that one. I want to read them at some point. Mythic I would. I'm going to reread this at some point. So, it's nice that I've still got my copy of that. This is 30 years old. Jack Vance, Tales of the Dying Earth. I've only just recently rebought this. I do want to read it. Again, another one I want to read. And the last one is going to go on the pile I'm not going to keep. Hey! So it's Industry and Empire by Hobsbawm. So I've tried to keep only the Hobsbawm stuff that I really feel like I can't let go of. But I can let go of this one. So Industry and Empire by Hobsbawm. A historian I definitely recommend. So there we go. I've got a few things to sort out now. But that's the last of the boxes that I'm unhauling. There are a few that I left in the box I knew I was keeping. So this isn't like every book I own. But there we are. I hope you found it interesting. Thanks a lot for watching. See you later. Bye.